morning. This is the time of the year when we start thinking about reading a little bit more in the evenings when the daylight hours are shorter and the evening is longer and we're indoors and need something wonderful to do and make sure that we sleep well. Not that this one will make you sleep very well. You will have trouble with this book because it is a page turner. It's really hard to put down. This is Pirate Hunters by Robert Kurson. He's the same one who wrote, it was Shadow Divers, that absolutely gripping tale of searching for the German U-boat, the submarine. And this is the same type of writing, full of facts and history and research. And oh my goodness, in the beginning, it's a little bit slow to get going because it's got a lot of history to go through, a lot of research. And once it gets going, you won't be able to put it down. Search for the Golden Fleece, all about Robert Bannister, famous pirate. Wow, this is a great book. Okay, next on my list is, there goes a Dan card marking someone's place, Longitude. If you like navigation and you like boats, this book is incredible. This is Davis Arbel, and this is all about the race to develop a reliable timepiece. And who would have known how incredibly important this was to the history of our country and the history of the Spaniards, the English, everyone, just coming up with a decent timekeeping device. You wouldn't think that a whole book about designing a watch or a clock would be fascinating, but it is. 40 years of work by Harrison in order to develop a reliable timepiece. This is an amazing book. You won't be able to put this one down either. It is a real page turner as well. Who would have thought that a book about a timekeeping device would be, you're going to want to go to Greenwich. You're going to want to go right there to the source and see the amazing clocks after you read the book about how much went into designing a reliable timekeeping device. Next, Treasure Diving Holidays by Creel. This is a work by a husband and wife team. And Jane actually was a very good friend of Rachel Carson, which is one of the next books that I'm going to feature. And this was an older book. I tend to buy used books because it's just a responsible way to go and the less expensive. And if you want to mark them, you can. Although this one I never would. This one is kind of a bit of a historical timepiece. It's got a lot of plates in it, black and white plates. And this is all about early scuba diving and what it was like in the early days back in, this was written around 1954, 1955. I think this was written in 54. And it's all about just the beginnings of people diving, what kind of equipment that they were using, what it was like, and just a wonderful, wonderful account of this family's search in the ocean for vacation and learning about the environment. Just wonderful, wonderful stuff. Okay, so Jane's friend is Rachel Carson. Rachel Carson wrote this wonderful book, The Edge of the Sea, and I have 2 copies of it here, and there's a reason. This is the newer version, and the newer version has larger font, but it doesn't have any of the photos in it. The older version has the plates, all of the drawings. And Rachel Carson was just an early, I would say, an environmentalist and someone who was just so far ahead of her time because she was already talking about conservation and the environment and changes in the ocean and already making some predictions about things that would happen and really analyzing why what was already going on in the 50s was going on. Just an absolute wonderful read. Okay, next, for a whole lot of fun, divers will like this one. This one's a real quick one. This one is not going to keep you up at night, but this is a whole bunch of hand signals. Yes, they have QR codes. Look at that. I opened it to the funniest page. A whole bunch of hand signals from basic signals all the way down to some really interesting ones. For instance, if you want to communicate with someone underwater about a type of shark, you could say you have a shark. You could say you have a nurse shark. You could say you have a hammerhead shark or a bull shark. It's just a lot of fun. I don't know how many signals you actually would want to memorize, but some of them are really kind of neat and kind of fun. Okay, next up on the educational side, Dan, this is a guide for medical and travel, just a really thin guide. Pick this up, use, good reference. Next thing that I picked up was the open water books from SSI Patty, and Nowie, because I want to read all of them and compare. And once again, great reason for getting used books is because then I can mark in them, and I just want to compare and know a little bit more about the open water diving. I want to refresh what I learned years and years ago and just pick up some good tips, and also really want to compare SSI, Patty, and Nowie, see what the differences are. Oh yeah, if you really want to go to sleep, read the manual to your watch. This is one that Bill gave me for Christmas, Advanced First Aid Afloat, and this is not for the faint of heart. This it has everything from how to perform amputations to all sorts of long distance, if you're long distance cruising or you're far away from land, how to deal with medical emergencies. Next up, Patty, open water as well. How about that? This one, interestingly, I bought it used, and it came with someone's certification information, so I need to figure out how to get that back to them. But this is going to be a really good reference, and I hope to learn even more than I learned years ago. Next up, Nowie Scuba Diver, because of course I'm comparing, and this one I am using as a refresher course for myself. And I'm just going through and I'm highlighting anything that either I don't remember or it's new to me. And so far there's a lot that I don't remember, that I know I learned in the beginning when I took my open water diving course, but maybe I have forgotten over time. Boy, there's some things you'll really be surprised that if you're conducting your own refresher. And the other was I'm really marking and putting a star by things that I don't remember learning at all. Rescue Diver. I'm taking this course now, and so that's why this book looks so new, because it came new with my registering for the Nowie Rescue Diver course. So haven't read much of this yet because I'm still going through the scuba diver course and making sure I'm completely up to date. Okay, a couple reference books. This is just the absolute Bible of reef fishes. This is thousands and thousands. I mean, I'm telling you, there's like 58 pages of grouper alone. Fantastic Coral Reef Fishes. Great reference book. Next one up, 2-ounce Backpacker. This one is a fun little 2-ounce book. In fact, the author even says, if it weighs more than that, just cut off the covers or cut off the margins. And this is not really to deal with scuba diving, but more to deal with situations and just how to conduct yourself in the wild. And so it's a really great reference as well. In February, we are going to be taking the Knowles Wilderness Medicine course, and so we're studying in advance, and we just went ahead and picked up the book so that we could go ahead and see what that's all about and maybe come to class a little bit prepared. That's our plan. And this one I have not yet looked at, but it was worth it to Bill to pick it up. Survival Handbook, so I will be letting you know what he says about this one. I think it's chock full of amazing information. Can't wait to get my hands on that. So, best of the bunch. Best of the bunch. I would have to say, if you only have time for 2 books, these 2. These are the ones that you want to read. These are absolutely amazing. Pirate Hunters by Robert Curson and Longitude by Davis Serval. These definitely should be on your reading list this winter. Thanks so much for watching. I'll leave links to everything below. Please like, share, subscribe if you like my content, and I'll see you in the next one.